Hello and welcome to Hayridge Model Rail. Today we're working on the station, and more importantly the station signals, and more specifically the upline station signals, which I've finally finished the circuit board for. So let's have a look at what we've got. This is one of, at the moment, 3 reed switches soldered up to lengths of cable. This one's not installed yet, but it will be going down here just before where the tunnel starts. Or the sensor will be just after the tunnel as it goes in. You come back round, and here, there we go, we can see one of the reed switches exiting the station, just in the top left corner. That's the hole that I've drilled for the signal, and this is the station approach signal, and that's the reed switch which activates the approach. And there will be this line here will have a reed switch in it as well, which will control a set of signals back up that line once it's built, and then down into the station area, so that everything will be controlled and the signals will change accordingly. Right, so let's have a look at the circuit board. Okay, so you have to excuse the fact that it's hanging down at the moment because I'm in the process of programming it. We've got a power light, we've got the power in, the inputs for the power and network. Down here where my thumb is, that's for the ABC braking, so I'll connect 2 boards up to that. These are the next and previous signal connections, so they'll supply a 5-volt pulse every time they get triggered. Around the side we've got the bottom 2 are the power and return feed for the sensors. All the sensors can be linked together because they work as on-off sensors, so trigger it on, trigger it off. Obviously when something's red it can't pass the signal, therefore you can't have a false trigger in theory. And then the top 3 are the arrival LEDs for the signal. The next 3 are the departure signals LEDs, and you can make it out because of the light, but I've built in a there we go, no, it's not going to focus. I've built in a jumper so I can change the common connection for the signals to either a common cathode or common anode, so hopefully I will be able to use this board regardless of what signals I have connected, although they do have to be both the same type, so either common anode or common cathode. So down here we've got the 2 signals. It is programmed, but what I'm going to do now is just go through the reprogramming and set it up again, just so you can see what goes on. So if you can see the keypad up here, so we'll press 0 to enter program mode. The light did flash, you couldn't see it, but now I need to enter the number that's already programmed in, which I believe is 22. It should flash. If not, it will go off. It flashed, that's good. If it had gone off, it would have put the circuit board into sleep mode so that you can program other stuff without interrupting any of this. It just means it's easier to connect stuff up. Unfortunately, some of the boards that I've got are older designs and haven't got that built in, so I've got to slowly work my way around and upgrade everything, but we'll get there. So the board's now in program mode. Now I can program the new address, which I'm going to put as 20. So type 20 and enter on the keypad, and we get a flash. Next, that's actually programmed the departure signal, and that's the only signal on this circuit, when they're all connected, that is actually manually controllable. All the others will work off sensors and the previous signal or the next signal along the line, so they would work as a normal railway. The train crosses into the next section, triggers the sensor, and the signals will all change accordingly. So the next thing I'm going to program on this is I've got 2 points that cross the line or join the line. So the next two I've got program are my 2 sets of points. So one is number 9, so we'll put 9, enter, another flash to say that it's done. The next one, the point number or address is number 10, so we'll put 10 in and we get a flash. And then there's 2 more bits of programming that need to be done, and that's to tell the board which way the points are set. So if the points are clear for the main line, it's a 0. If the points are set against the main line on the approach, it's a 1. At the moment these points are all set for mainline running, so I need to put in 0 and 0 again. So this time I will get a flash, and then it will flash 3 times to tell me that it saved the settings. And there we are, all programmed. Okay, back on the tripod. Right, so now I'm going to use my red wire, which I've got here, and I'm going to trip the sensor, which would be on the approach, and the slightly lower signal should go red. Now, that means that a train's now in the station area. We're going to assume that it's a fast train. It's not going to stop, so it's going, the signal's green, it's going to go through, which means it's going to clear the station section, and the train's going to be in the next section past the station. So the red will go green and the green should go red, which is good. Can just make it out at the bottom of the screen. Now, to clear that red, obviously the train's got to go into the next section, where at the moment I haven't got a signal, but I have got the reed switch that I showed you earlier, which is going to be installed there. So that is going to go, the train's going to go past that, and it's going to trigger that reed switch, which will then clear the station signal to say that the next section ahead is clear from the station. And we're back to green again. The other things that can trigger these signals, the slightly higher one, which is obviously the slightly lower one, which is the approach or arrival signal. If I put in the address for the point, it will change to red, saying that the points ahead are set for a train to cross the path of the main line. And 10. So everything is working as it should, or everything I've got connected is working as it should. The only thing I haven't double checked yet is the ABC braking, but that will be installed and tested once it's on. Hopefully it's supplying the power it needs to do that, and everything will be working. So next is to fit that other reed switch and then get this board installed and start connecting everything up. Okay, so a minor little problem. Reed switches are very delicate, and if you bend them in the wrong place or you pull them about too much, they break, which is what happened there. So I've soldered in a new one. Hopefully you saw some of it, and now we're going to pull it through and hopefully get it installed where we need it. I've re-drilled my hole one sleeper further back, so hopefully this time round it's not quite as much flex as before. And the other problem I've got is whether my hole is big enough for solder, which actually it looks pretty good. So hopefully you can see that all installed. This is one of the reed switches which will be hidden. Some of them will be on show, so I'm going to work out a way of hiding them. If anyone's got any ideas, it'd be great to have any comments you think. If you want, please comment on anything that I've been doing in this video. If there's anything you want to ask me about the circuit boards or anything like that, feel free. I will do my best to answer. I will at some stage, if people want, show them the way I program the chips and write the program. Some of them are a little bit complicated because there's a lot of stuff going on. But once you get your head around it and you try it and test it, eventually it all comes together. I probably reprogrammed these 2 chips that are on this board half a dozen times, tweaking it until I got everything working right. So don't expect it to work right first time, but it's working now. Hopefully we'll be able to get everything installed and give it a try. Okay, so we're going to put, hopefully you'll be able to see it, going to install the board somewhere around here. Probably going to install it that way. Makes it easier to get to all the cables. So we will find everything we need, which, believe it or not, to fix these I use super glue and activator. I'll put a quick dab of super glue on the ends and then spray it with activator, and that stops it going down the holes, the threaded holes, which makes it easier for me to remove the board. Once it's installed, because it allows me to unscrew it. If you can see the screws. So now I can put another blob of super glue on and not have to worry about where the glue goes. There we go, perfectly held. So we have our 0 volts, 5 volt network, power for the reed switches, return for the reed switches, and then we've got that's common for the departure signal, red, green, reversed depending on which way round you've got your signals, with a common positive or negative. And then we've got the common supply for the arrival signal or approach signal, and then red and green again. Here are the 2 connectors which will go to the ABC break-in. I've got 2 modules ready. One of them's installed where it needs to be, the other one needs moving. That's all good. And then we've got this goes to the next signal up the line, and the other one goes to the previous signal down the line, which is not the approach but the signal before, because this obviously runs 2 signals. So that's all installed. Next is to run a bus wire, 5 volt, from over here. That is going to run down and into this, so I'm going to cut a cable and get that connected. Okay, so I've got my wires ready to connect. I'm going to undo my little knuckle clamps. Make sure I pick the right ones, otherwise they'll fall out. I think it's that one. That's it. And then hopefully I can go, nice and easy. As easy as it can be when you're upside down. One more. Oh, always one. Doesn't want to go. There we go. I reckon that's got it this time. Yep. Right, so as you can see, there's a mountain of wires under here already. I try and keep it as tidy as possible. Hopefully you can see in the shot. I need to come over here. I want to give myself a little bit of extra. Trim this last one. Hopefully I've got plenty of spare. This is just a 4-core alarm cable which I bought from B&Q. Does the job perfectly well. Just gonna fold it over. Okay. Right. So when I build my circuits, I always put my positive in the middle, simply because if I do get the cables round the wrong way, I'm not going to blow anything up because the positive is always where it should be. Right one in. So that's the yellow on my system I use as my network cable, and the black is my ground feed. And there we are. Now that's connected, so I need to run some cables from there up to my signal, approach signal, and then down to the departure signal, and then connect up the sensors, which hopefully I've got enough cable for. Okay, so I've run the wire through now, and I'm going to use my yellow as the feed and the blue as the return. Doesn't matter which way around you have it, but it helps if you keep everything the same. And there will be 3 reed switches connected to this terminal eventually, probably 2 for the moment. So that's one done. Okay, so I've put the other wire in for the other sensor, the read switch, which is, as you're looking up at it, over to the right. So that's both the read switches done to control the station. I've got the next signal connector to put in, which is this one here. That's going to be connected to a read switch for the moment until I get the signal and the chip to actually work it. But that cable has got to run all the way down there, round the corner. There we are, round the corner and down to the end. Hopefully I've cut a cable that's long enough to go to that one. And then I've got to make up some extension cables so I can connect both the signals up. Which one isn't too far away, actually. One is over here somewhere. I think it's just in there. There it is, there's the hole. One signal's got to go there. I seem to find all the awkward places. Makes it difficult to put them in. And the other one is already connected up with a circuit board over that side, which you can't see. But I'll be taking that circuit board out. That'll get used somewhere else, probably reprogrammed. And that will be connected up to here. So I'll be connecting those cables up over the next day or so, and then we'll move from there. As you can see, the wiring is tidy-ish. That little cable there that you can see is the cable to the programming track, which is there with a load of track on it at the moment. Right, so done quite well so far. We'll be moving on again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.